Welcome back. The last video we created this touched function using this dot touched event. So just a little bit more on events. Events are things that they're like little listeners, so they sort of run in the background continuously waiting for something to happen. In this case, it's waiting for this part that it's connected to be touched. So it can sit there all game and it'll only run when this event happens. Alright. Now at the moment it's working and we might say great. However, let's just come back into our game here for a second, and I'd like to just drop another part in here, and we'll simply move that over here a bit, and I might just make it a little bit bigger. And I'd just like to show you something here. So if we save this and run our game, if I run over to our new part I just put in here and I push it, well, maybe it's a bit heavy. Let's have a look. Did I anchor that? Did I? No, it's not anchored. Might be a bit big. I'm not sure why that's not working. Let's just pick it up a bit and we'll scale it down. The idea is that I'd like to push it into here. Okay, so let's save that and we'll try again. Alright, so if I run over here and push this into this block, you'll notice that when it touches the block, it's triggering our code. Okay, so it's not the player that's triggering it, it's actually the block that's touching it, and that's usually not something that you want to happen. Okay, maybe, perhaps, however, usually you just want code to run when a player actually touches or triggers a function. So let's look at how to do that. And to do that, if we come back into here, I'm going to put up here how the player is represented, or how you're represented in the game. So here's a comment. Firstly, player. Okay, all right. This is you. So your user ID and you in the real world, and how your account is handled and all this sort of stuff. This is a representation of you. Not to say everybody has access to this. This is a very security controlled thing where developers have access to some things like your user ID to enable things like purchases and that sort of thing. Okay, so this represents you. Then we have what's called a humanoid, and it's like a little robot. Alright, so that is the thing inside of the character that you see on the screen. So character is how you look in the game, or how you're represented. Alright, so just to show you that, let's just run our game again and forget about the blocks. Alright, so you can see here my name's popped up here as being in the game, and I would like to look in the Explorer over here, and you'll notice two things. Number one, workspace, and here I am represented in the workspace. Alright, now if we expand this out, you'll notice we have a humanoid inside of my character, and if you click on it, okay, open it up, it has a whole bunch of stuff in here about the humanoid. Look down the bottom here and you'll notice in the properties that it handles things like health, okay, and how quickly you walk and things like that. So the humanoid is very important in terms of determining what's happening. However, if everybody was just a humanoid, we wouldn't look any different, and everybody would look the same and it'd be a bit boring. Okay, so up here, this collection here is a character, and you are an instance or a creation of that in the workspace. Okay. Down here we have players, and if I open this up, here I appear again. Alright, if you click on this, there are certain things in here, okay, if you have a look through the properties, that let us determine whether you're on a team and all that sort of thing. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in there that we won't discuss right now. If you have a look under data, you'll see my character appearance ID, which I could use to change things, and display name and all this sort of stuff. Okay, my user ID. All right, these are all things that can be used to control purchases and that sort of thing. Okay, so it's a good idea to have the distinction when you're working in Roblox about which part you're working with in the code. So coming back to here, how do we get the player and the character? Well, firstly, let's come in here. We're going to change part touched here to something shorter. Okay, this could be anything you like, but I'm just going to change it to hit. So what hit my part? And consequently, we just need to, that's all we need to do at the moment. We're not actually doing anything with the part touched in here till now. So just below this, we'll introduce a new variable, and this will be called character. Alright, and to keep it short, we'll just say char. Hit.parent. So we're assuming that whatever touches the part is going to be a leg or an arm of your character, and its parent will be the character. Okay, now I know that I showed you the block running into it, and we're going to deal with that now by saying local humanoid. We're going to look for the humanoid in the character. Okay, so what we do is we say in the character, find first child. And what are we looking for? The humanoid. So this is a method. Remember I said these two dots connect a function of some sort to whatever this is. So in this case, we're saying your character that's running around and it's touched the part. When it gets to here, it says, okay, you want me to look in the character and find the first child, so to look at all the things in the character, arms, legs, for the humanoid, until it finds it, and it'll assign it here. So we can now use this down here to say, well, if DB is true and humanoid, so if this returns true, that there is a humanoid, this will run. Once we've determined that, yes, it is a humanoid and a character, we can introduce a new variable here, and we'll call this player. Okay. And how do we find the player? Well, we look in the game, and then, game, and then we look in players. Remember, we had the players over here, so we're looking in here, and we'll say find first child. And what are we looking for? Well, we've already determined that the character is actually a humanoid, so we're going to look for the character name, which will show up in here. So once we have the player, we can work with that data to make things happen. So down here, let's just for now put in a print statement, print, and we'll say the player name, sorry, spell it correctly, name changed the color. Alright. Alright, so color, this is spelling in code of the block. Just for now. Alright. So let's see if that works. Right, run over here, there we go. Username taken 30, change the color of the block, should be changed, and it ran twice, and it ran again, and it ran again. Okay, and remember I've got this set to half a second, so it runs quick. And just to check, the block no longer, okay, makes the code run. Well, this a bit of code is used heavily in Roblox Studio, and you'll be writing it over and over and over again in various ways to make things happen when a player touches something. So save this as a separate file if you like, and get used to using it, because when we get to our project very soon, we'll be making good use of this. So I shall see you in the next video, and we're going to have a look at how to make a pickup. I'll see you then.